Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Monday, June the 2nd. The year is 2024. Let's talk trading. Weekly open and gap, and we might as well say monthly open too. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Let's take a look at the monthly chart. As you can see here, we're about 2 pips above the monthly open at the moment. 21 off the high and 40 off the low. And we look at the weekly, the dashboard tells us all the gaps filled. I noticed the gap yesterday on the pound was about 14, had a 14 pip spread, and there was really no way of taking advantage of that move, and then price moved up to the ask. Subsequently, it dropped also. Okay, we are putting in the opening range for the week and the month right now. And you can see we are inside the opening range of the year. It looks like we tried to make it to the high, but not quite the high of that opening range. And looks like we're only 14 pips. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that says 15. That's interesting. It says we're 23 pips, 24 pips above the yearly open. Let's see, yearly open 2711. $27.20 on that. That's interesting. I'll have to double check and see why the discrepancy. Okay, inside bar. It looks like we've got a lot of monthly inside bar action here. We're above the daily inside bar, and we're above the weekly inside bar. But we are in the inside bar range on the monthly that happened 5 months ago. $61 pip range for the day, only 3 pairs over 100 pips. Oh, wow. I can see the dollar yen might be setting up for a short again. Just have to wait and see. Looking at the buy zone, you can see we've crisscrossed the weekly open here. We started up, going up, went down, now we're right back, about 3 pips above it. As far as the rat zones, the range is large enough. We're entering the red rat zone here. You can see the green rats have already feasted. Now, at this particular point here, this was not a rat trade because we didn't have the range, but you can see we were put in the range and the rats started feasting. Notice something down here. You know, we got a flip, price flip, flop, flip, flop, flip. So even looking at M15, you can see how those flip-flop boxes can lead to profitable trading. And so for those of you just tuning in, a flip is when it changes colors, then flop when it changes back. So it flipped, it flopped, it flipped, it flopped, it flipped, and then headed on up. And looking at the pivot trading plan, Bambino indicator says go long. Bias near the pivot said go short. You see that played out the first time. Or actually, I guess it was the second time it happened, because we moved up and we moved back down. So we're at the pivot point now. So really the pivot trading plan and Bambino Flex are giving mixed signals, but price near S1, bias long. And you can see here in that last H4, we were down in that area. We're now 30, well, we were 30 pips above. And we've taken out the daily pivot. And for the month of May, we have 2 missed pivots. So we've got 3 months in a row this year where pivots have been missed. And we've got 3 months in a row where weekly pivots have been missed. So far, we've missed a pivot this month, but notice no missed monthly pivots. So keeping that in mind, you might want to look for some shorts. And on the H4 bias, you can see we missed two H4s ago, and we haven't hit the current one. So one of these is going to be taken out, and that looks like a return bar. So I would imagine this pivot might get taken out because we'd be in the launch pad. And I'm looking here, and right in here between this candle and this candle, you can, okay, it looks like it may have taken out that imbalance, but it wouldn't surprise me if price got back around 127.75 and then turned around and dropped. Just something to look out for. In and out of the upper wick zone from the previous day. And in and out of the lower wick zone. You see it went through the bottom, 127, came screaming back, then broke through the top. Oh, looking at the smart range. Okay, since we are doing monthly, let's take a quick look here. Last month, we were at the 58th percentile out of the last 12 months, so pretty much in the middle. We did not have a breakout of the high. Oh, I'm sorry. We did have a breakout of the high by 91 pips, looking at the monthly. We did not break out of the low. Let's see, for the red rats, high minus close 58 pips. And green rats, close minus low 297. So if you're trading rat zones out of a monthly, huge payouts, huge. And for the monthly open crossover, 46 pips, open the low, and 309, open the high. And if we take a look here, at the weekly, you can see last week, 120 pips of range. Now, that's really, it's an improvement over the week before, but we're only at the 25 percentile. Just shows volatility has really decreased. Last week, high minus previous high, we broke out by 39. And previous low minus low, no breakout. So looking at high minus close for the red rats, 58. Close minus low, 61. For the green rats, weekly open crossover traders, to the downside 49, to the upside 71. Let's simple price action chart here. You can see the 2750 line. We had some action. 2725 action. 2700 action. So once again, those psychological levels. Just trade what you see. Looks like price is heading towards the launch pad. Okay, ATR percent for May, we hit 94. Range by month, 355, which the low here was, I think, 2017. Looking at the year-to-date accumulated range, you can see we haven't expanded it. We did not expand it last month. And you can see here, we were negative. Last month we went into positive. Closed positive. Right now we're still positive from the yearly open. And just so we have a reference here, beginning of the month, ATR is 358 in June. So we'll see if we can take that out. Let's see, looking here, it didn't quite break the 2740 level. It's pushed back down. This is kind of looking like a return bar here. We still have this return bar to be completely taken out. Looking at the trade reminder, let's start with the month. Price between the wick zones, monthly's turning up. You can see we've got that flip. It's a buyer strong control so far. 114 pips above the previous middle. Quick look at the weekly. Just barely above the open. Price between the wick zone. We've crossed below the previous mid. And for the daily, between the wick zone, buyer strong control. And fellow traders, always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks.